Jim Brogan. I was born here. I've been here all my life. I have 2 degrees from the University of Tennessee. So we do wealth management and retirement planning. So what does that really mean? Anything in your life that could impact your finances, whether it's investing money, whether it's how to structure income, if we can optimize our taxes, so we serve people. And that's part of our mission statement. We serve people.
Brr, brr. Whoo, it's chilly out here this morning. Good morning, everyone. I think I have to change that camera. I was doing this all in the dark all morning long, and now it's not dark, and so now it looks like the camera is super bright. We'll try to fix that here on the fly for you. Anyways, good morning. Happy Thursday. The scenery is just a little bit different, isn't it? Let's get this a little bit darker. There we go. That looks a little bit better, doesn't it? All right, there we go. All right, anyways, let's come back to here for a second. I just want to say good morning. How's everybody doing this morning? We're broadcasting from the peaceful side of the Smokies, Townsend, Tennessee, over here at Little Arrow Resort. Beautiful side, just at the base of entering the national park, right down the road here. And it's chilly. I'm outside. I'm next to a pavilion. If you happen to see on social media, on Facebook already, I'm next to a pavilion, but it's an open pavilion, so it's cold. I've been out here since like 4 this morning. Brr! I'm going to have to go take a hot shower just to warm up. Anyways, as you travel out and about here this morning, grab the jackets. You're going to need those. Happy Thursday, Denise. Hey, Missy, Felicia. We got Kathy. Enjoy your fall break. Definitely. Whoa, that's so little. We got to get that up there a little bit bigger, huh? How about that? Let's get that up here. I'm on a different computer, so everything's a little different here this morning. But either way, all right. Uh-oh. My computer's... Hold on. You're going to have to give me 1 second. My computer's almost out of batteries. Stand by. Well, maybe we've got some power here. There we go. Now we've got some power to the computer. Man, had to get that going. All right. Anyways, I digress. It's always a little different when you're out of your elements a little bit as well. And I forgot my contacts, by the way, so I'm wearing glasses this morning just so I can see the darn computer. Anyways, I digress. Let's get to work with the forecast. I want to start you off with a view from Clinton, downtown Clinton, anyways, Anderson County. Got these batch of clouds hanging out with us this morning, and that's going to be the story throughout the day today. Here's a live look there up in Gatlinburg, Anakista. You can see a little bit of fog up against the base of the foothills and the mountains, but beautiful sunshine there. However, we've got more clouds in the lower elevations. That's Maynardville at the Maynardville Courthouse in downtown Maynardville, Union County, by the way. Checking in on that. All right, let's talk about your forecast ahead of us for the day today. Brr, it's so cold. Anyways, all right, so here's what I'm talking about. We're going to have a few clouds hanging out with us throughout the day today. We've got a little disturbance getting pinched off from the main upper level pattern, and it's going to just kind of linger, drive its way on through, so that's going to bring us more bark than bite throughout the day today. Just a few more clouds. Other than that, we're going to stay chilly all the way through the weekend for the morning low temperatures. Afternoon highs will stay pleasant, but gradually warming here over the next couple of days. Well, really in the next week as well. So we'll talk about that ridge of high pressure over Texas here in just a moment, but that low pressure system that you see over the state of Tennessee, that's that low I'm talking about. Watch this. This is the upper level pattern. This is mid-level energy and spin, 500 millibars. Vorticity is also what it's called. And that's diving its way to the south and southeast. So that's what's bringing us the cloud coverage here this morning. That's what's going to bring us the clouds throughout the day. But remember, our dew points have fallen into the 40s and 50s, and that's what has allowed the air to cool off this morning and make it feel finally like that good solid fall weather for sure. All right, dew point trend throughout the day today. We're going to see those dew points stay right there in the 40s and 50s. So the dew points stay on the lower side. That's going to make for a rather pleasant afternoon. Temperature-wise and dew point-wise, the air feels good. It feels like October for sure, especially with the fog that we had yesterday morning. All right, here's those clouds. Let me show you our future cast. So our clouds, picking up our clouds here this morning. And again, most of the clouds, I think, south will be more south of Interstate 40. So I think if you're south of Interstate 40, you're likely to have a lot more cloud coverage throughout the day today than what you'll see north of Interstate 40. But they'll be a little bit thinner north of Interstate 40. Not saying you're not going to have any clouds. We're likely not to see much in the way of rainfall. So I think we're going to stay relatively rain-free throughout the day today. Maybe a sprinkle here or there. That's the story. We don't have a lot of moisture. We're still pretty dry in the low levels, and you can clearly see it's not going to add up to a whole lot throughout the day today. Look at these temperatures. We're now at 43 degrees in Hawkins and Hancock counties, mid-40s in Tri-Cities, mid-40s also in Fentress and Scott County, upper 40s in Morgan County this morning. And then in the central and southern valley, we're in the upper 50s to low 60s. But up against the foothills, right now temperatures are in the 40s. I'll be curious to see what my app says, what the temperature may be. Anyways, 24-hour temperature change. We're running anywhere from 5 to nearly 20 degrees colder than what we were yesterday. But remember that we had the humidity in place yesterday, and our dew points were in the 60s, so it made it feel a little bit warmer, right? Forecast highs today will top out in the upper 60s, low 70s, so we're actually technically trending a couple of degrees below average for this time of the year. So we've been above average, now we're trending below average. And if you have evening plans here tonight, you'll need the jackets. It's definitely going to cool off pretty quickly once that sun goes down. I keep having to put my hands in my pockets. It's cold. All right, 0% chance of rain, the big goose egg across a 7-day stretch. So no major rainfall is headed our way. And here's the reason why. Let's go back to Texas. Let's go back to that ridge of high pressure. And that ridge of high pressure is going to start to nudge its way on in. By the way, folks across the mid-Atlantic, big low pressure system forming and moving its way up the mid-Atlantic and then back out to sea. Had it been winter time, that would have been a good solid snowmaker, a nor'easter, if you will. But not the case. It's just going to be bringing us some heavier rain showers from all the way from the Outer Banks to North Carolina up to New York City. But notice with the accumulated rainfall and snowfall on the map, we're going to see snow on the top left-hand side of your screen, Pacific Northwest, High Plains, Yellowstone, Montana, parts of the mountains of Colorado as well. But for us, that ridge means that we're going to see quiet and dry weather. That's your rainfall outlook for the next 7 days. And likely, as we've been talking about for several days now, in the last couple of weeks anyways, we're likely to continue that trend to below average precipitation. 7-day forecast, average high is 75, will be in the low 70s, so a couple of degrees below average today and tomorrow. Saturday and Sunday will be in the mid 70s, right where we should be for this time of the year, with lows in the upper 40s, which is going to feel awesome. Crisp, cool, but this is what we need. The nice sunny warm days with the clear, crisp, cool nights. That's what's going to help to really pop off these colors. Remember, we're trending so far about a week behind. Well, we're probably going to be trending about 2 weeks behind peak fall foliage in the Smoky Mountains. So we're starting to see a little bit of color, but not a lot of color so far. And then next week, notice those temperatures starting to warm back into the upper 70s to low 80s, and that's due to that ridge of high pressure that I showed you moving its way on into the area, at which point we may continue that trend above and beyond the 7-day forecast. Hey, how many of you are going to the UT football game on Saturday? Anybody? Any takers? Kickoff's at 4:15 against the Razorbacks. Now, if you're heading off doing some tailgating early in the morning, we're going to be right around 50, so it's going to be chilly, but we'll warm nicely. And if you're on the eastern side of the stands, it's going to be hot. Sunny and 75 in the direct sunlight actually is warm. And so it's something to kind of keep in mind if you're heading off to the game, but enjoy that. Should be a good one for sure. And remember that trend's going to continue to see above average temperatures beyond the 7-day forecast. That's the story, Morning Glory. That's what we will see for the next 7 days. I don't even have any sound effects here. And that camera keeps getting blown out over here. Need a camera director, an audio director. Let's see if we can adjust that a little bit here on the fly. Tina says, "You in Townsend, Mike?" I am in Townsend. Let's see here. Let's get this. Let's get that to look a little bit better. Maybe a little bit better. All right. Anyways. We don't need to fiddle with that. Anyways, yeah, so we're in Townsend. We're at Little Arrow Resort, just up here for 2 nights, 3 days. Took the family, got to get out of the house. The kids need a fall break. We needed a fall break. And we come up here all the time, as many of you know. If you've been with me on this broadcast or on this platform, I've broadcast live from here many a times over the years. Or over the last couple of years anyways. So here we are. So we're going to just hang out, relax, enjoy some time. We'll be heading back to Knoxville tomorrow. So I'll be back in the studio tomorrow evening to get back to some normalcy, I suppose. Thanks a lot, Buck. Trying my best here. It looked better when it was dark outside. Now I got to turn my light up a little bit more. But we're not going to worry about it, right? Yay, cool temps, says Tina. Fall is usually dry every year, isn't it, Mike? Yes, it is. And that's why this time of the year is also fire season, because you have all that vegetation. We don't have a lot of it falling to the ground so far, but that's why October typically is pretty hot when it comes to fire season. Well, you know what? When you forget your contacts and they're sitting on the bathroom countertop, you pull out the glasses. Now, I didn't necessarily need them, but I can't read the chat without them, right? These are readers. Oh, man. All right. Well, guess what? We actually are. Oh, it already moved to it. Well, there we go. Didn't know it moved to the different graphic there, but we can talk about national holidays now. And these are not showing up very well, are they? All right, let's talk about national holidays, shall we? See if we can't get those up here. We're going to move this around a little bit so we can see it a little bit better. I'm just going to have to go over here. I've got like 4 monitors over here. All right, so it's October 9th. Of course, we're celebrating birthdays and events. I don't even have the music. Birthdays and events. Any birthdays out there? Did you all have a good birthday yesterday for those of you that were celebrating a birthday? Good morning, Lisa. How are you? It's chilly up here. Buck, I can't. Can't, Buck. But you can come help me out for free just because you're a good man. Hey, it's National Pro-Life Cupcake Day. It's National Moldy Cheese Day. Moldy Cheese Day, yeah. You know, you're talking about like the good old blue cheeses. Funny story, my wife, I think I've told you this before, but my wife lived in France for a long time. She was an au pair in France. And she said when she first got there and was this au pair, they sat down for dinner one night, and the husband, who she was watching their kids, he pulled out some cheese. It was blue cheese. She said the blue cheese was so alive, it was like moving on the plate. That's how active and moldy and awesome that cheese was. I like moldy cheese. Blue cheese is really good. But sometimes it's just too pungent, isn't it? Just sometimes. Your dad's birthday is on the 16th. My brother's birthday is on the 16th there, Bonnie. It's 53 degrees right now in Morristown. Whew. You don't like blue cheese? Come on, Curly. You need some blue cheese. Blue cheese on top of a steak is like the best. Talk about moldy cheese. Let's put it on a steak that's been aged, right? Not really moldy, but aged. And it's Pans and Pandas Awareness Day. Pans and Pandas Awareness Day. Do you know what this is? I do not know what this is. Sets out to increase research, education, and support to those affected by pediatric acute onset neuropsychiatric syndrome, PANS, and pediatric autoimmune neuropsychiatric disorders associated with strep. Interesting. Strep infections get you that. And I don't have, by the way, anything else. So that's all we have this morning. It's going to be short, sweet, and to the point. Let's see. Not a fan of blue cheese, Cheryl? No, blue cheese. Come on, Chris. It's so good. Put it on a steak. Here's what you do. You get that steak, pull it off the grill, put some butter on it, put some blue cheese on it, let the blue cheese melt on it. If you've never tried it, you're missing out. Ooh, blue cheese on hot wings. There you go. I typically like ranch more so on hot wings rather than blue cheese, but hey, that's okay. All right, my friends, we're going to wrap things up here this morning. Why? Because you got to get off to work if you're not already off to work. I am freezing out here, and, well, we're just going to make it the best day ever as we go hang out and relax with the family for just a little bit. We'll go do some breakfast here for a little bit. Anyways, join me on social media, Witcher's Adventures. I'll be posting a lot more on social media about how and what we are doing up here at Townsend, so make sure you tune in every once in a while. In the meantime, have a great day. Be safe, be kind to each other. Life is short. My mouth can't move. It's cold. Bye.